Cruel Intentions is a 1999 American teen romantic drama film written and directed by Roger Kumble, and starring Ryan Phillippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Reese Witherspoon, and Selma Blair. The film, set in New York City among rich high schoolers, is a modern retelling of Pierre Coderlos de Laclos' 1782 novel Les Liaisons Dangereuses. 2. Initially a smaller budget independent film, it was picked up by Columbia Pictures and widely released on March 5, 1999. Despite mixed critical reviews, the performances of Gellar, Phillippe, and Witherspoon were praised and the film grossed $75.9 million worldwide. Since its release, the film has become regarded as a cult classic. 3-4. Its box office success spawned a media franchise with a prequel in 2000 and a standalone sequel in 2004, as well as a jukebox musical in 2015 and a 2024 television series. Plot. In New York City, wealthy teenager Sebastian Valmont regularly manipulates and seduces women, but seeks someone who poses a challenge to his charm. He settles on Annette Hargrove, the daughter of his new school headmaster, who is staunchly opposed to sex before falling in love. Sebastian and his equally manipulative stepsister, the intelligent and popular Catherine Merteuil, agree to a bet. If Sebastian fails to seduce Annette, then Catherine gets his vintage Jaguar XK140, if he wins, Catherine will finally have sex with him. Catherine tries to recruit Sebastian into her own scheme to take revenge on her ex-boyfriend Court Reynolds, who left her because of her promiscuity and began dating the naive and innocent Cecile Caldwell. Sebastian's initial efforts to seduce Annette fail as she has been informed of his reputation. He suspects Annette's friend Greg, a closeted homosexual, of being responsible and blackmails him into convincing Annette of his good nature. Sebastian also learns that Cecile's mother warned Annette and agrees to corrupt Cecile as revenge. Catherine notices romantic tension between Cecile and her young music teacher Ronald Clifford and reveals this to Cecile's mother, who fires Ronald. Sebastian and Catherine convince Ronald to fight for Cecile by writing her a love letter which Sebastian uses to lure Cecile to his bedroom, where he blackmails her into receiving oral sex from him. The next day, Catherine advises Cecile to have sex with Sebastian and be as promiscuous as possible so she can please Ronald. Spending time with Annette, Sebastian develops genuine feelings for her, attracted to her honesty and ability to make the normally stoic Sebastian laugh. He kisses Annette but she resists because she also has feelings for him and fears she cannot restrain herself around him. Sebastian calls her a hypocrite for rejecting the opportunity for true love and she finally relents and begins undressing, but Sebastian, confused about his own feelings, declines to have sex with her. Annette leaves the following day, but Sebastian finds her, professes his feelings, and they have sex. A jealous Catherine tries to seduce Sebastian but is frustrated that her hold over him has been broken by his feelings for Annette, and she convinces him that he cannot change his true nature. Sebastian plans to tell Annette the truth about the bet but Catherine warns him that he will only destroy both his and Annette's reputations. He devastates Annette by lying that he only wanted her for sex and feels nothing for her. Sebastian tells Catherine that he has broken up with Annette, and, having won the bet, wants his reward, but she dismisses him. Catherine reveals that he was the true target of her scheme and that she manipulated him into feeling shame over his love for Annette for her own amusement. Sebastian tries to contact Annette to confess the truth and beg for a second chance, but she refuses to see him. He gives her his journal, in which he has detailed Catherine's manipulative schemes, their bet, and his true feelings for Annette. Seeking revenge, Catherine calls Ronald, claiming that Sebastian hurt her and slept with Cecile. Ronald violently confronts Sebastian, and the ensuing fight migrates to the middle of the street. Annette tries to intervene but is thrown into traffic and Sebastian is hit by an oncoming taxi pushing her to safety. Sebastian and Annette confess their love for each other before he dies from his injuries. At Sebastian's funeral, Catherine, unmoved by Sebastian's death, begins to deliver a eulogy, but people leave before she can finish. Catherine rushes outside to find Cecile handing out copies of Sebastian's journal, titled Cruel Intentions. As the details of her manipulations, promiscuity, and drug abuse are made public, Catherine weeps as her reputation and good girl persona are destroyed. Annette drives down a highway in Sebastian's car while wearing his sunglasses and with his journal at her side, recalling their fondest moments together. Cast: Sarah Michelle Gellar as Catherine Merteuil, based on the Marquise de Merteuil. Ryan Phillippe as Sebastian Valmont, based on the Vicomte de Valmont. Reese Witherspoon as Annette Hargrove, based on Madame de Tourvel. Selma Blair as Cecile Caldwell, based on Cecile Volanges. Louise Fletcher as Helen Rosemond, based on Madame de Rosemond. Joshua Jackson as Blaine Tuttle. Eric Mabius as Greg McConnell. Sean Patrick Thomas as Ronald Clifford, based on the Chevalier Danceny. Swoosie Kurtz as Dr. Regina Greenbaum. Kurtz portrayed Madame de Volanges in the 1988 film version of Dangerous Liaisons. Christine Baranski as Bunny Caldwell, based on Madame de Volanges. Elena Reed Hall as Nurse. Heap Tle as Miley. Deborah Offner as Mrs. Michalak. Tara Reid as Marcy Greenbaum. Drew Snyder as Headmaster Hargrove. Herta Ware as Mrs. Sugarman. Charlie O'Connell as Cord Reynolds, based on the Comte de Jurcourt. Fred Norris as Meter Maid. Production: Old Westbury Gardens was one of the filming locations. One of the filming locations was Old Westbury Gardens in Nassau County, New York, as well as the Harry F. Sinclair House in New York City. 5. In a 2016 interview, Sarah Michelle Gellar revealed that the original title of the movie was Cruel Inventions. 6. Reception. On Rotten Tomatoes, Cruel Intentions has an approval score of 54% based on 119 reviews, with an average rating of 5.20/10. The site's critics' consensus states, "This darkly comic drama and its attractive young cast are easy on the eyes, but uneven performances and an uninspired script conspire to foil Cruel Intentions." 7. Metacritic gave the film a weighted average score of 56 out of 100 based on 24 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 8 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B- on an A+ to F scale. 9. Charles Taylor of Salon.com described the film as the dirtiest-minded American movie in recent memory, and an honestly corrupt entertaining picture is never anything to sneeze at. 10. Stephen Holden of the New York Times wrote, "You have the queasy sense that the whole thing is just an elaborate stunt and, in this case, an exploitative one." 11. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times praised Cruel Intentions and gave the film 3 out of 4 stars in his review, stating that it was smart and merciless in the tradition of the original story. 12. Box office. Cruel Intentions was a commercial success, grossing $13,020,565 in its opening weekend, ranking number 2 behind Analyze This. Released in 2,312 theaters, the movie raked in $76.30 worldwide against a $10.5 million budget. 113. Awards and nominations. Award category nominee, S. Result. Blockbuster Entertainment Awards 14 Favorite Supporting Actress, Drama/Romance Reese Witherspoon won. Sapnivalo Awards Best Movie nominated. Best Teen Movie nominated. Best Movie Soundtrack nominated. Best Actress in a Leading Role Sarah Michelle Gellar nominated. Best Original Score Edward Sherma won. Golden Trailer Awards 15 Trashiest Trailer won. MTV Movie Awards 16 Best Male Performance Ryan Phillippe nominated. Best Female Performance Sarah Michelle Gellar won. Best Breakthrough Female Performance Selma Blair nominated. Best Villain Sarah Michelle Gellar nominated. Best Kiss Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair won. Stinkers Bad Movie Awards Worst Remake nominated. Teen Choice Awards 17 Choice Drama Movie won. Choice Movie Actor Ryan Phillippe nominated. Choice Movie Actress Reese Witherspoon nominated. Choice Movie Sleazebag Sarah Michelle Gellar 1. Ryan Phillippe nominated. Choice Movie Hissy Fit nominated. Choice Sexiest Love. Scene Ryan Phillippe and Reese Witherspoon nominated. Choice Movie Soundtrack Cruel Intentions nominated. Vega Digital Awards Social Campaigns 1. Soundtrack. Main article, Cruel Intentions, Soundtrack. The Cruel Intentions soundtrack is a compilation soundtrack released on March 9, 1999, by Arista/Virgin Records. It reached number 60 on the Billboard chart. 18. The lead track for the film was Bittersweet Symphony by rock band The Verve. Subsequent media. Main article, Cruel Intentions, franchise. Direct-to-video films. Main articles, Cruel Intentions 2 and Cruel Intentions 3. A prequel film, Cruel Intentions 2, was released direct-to-video in 2001, written and directed by Roger Kumble, assembled from 3 episodes filmed for Manchester Prep, a series based on the film scrapped by Fox. It features younger versions of Sebastian Valmont and Catherine Merteuil played by Robin Dunn and Amy Adams, respectively. It was followed by a standalone sequel, Cruel Intentions 3, in 2004, directed by Scott Zeal, starring Kerr Smith and Christina Anipa, as Cassidy Merteuil, cousin to Catherine. None of the cast from the original appeared in the direct-to-video films. Cancelled 2016 sequel series. Main article, Cruel Intentions, pilot. NBC picked up a television pilot for a continuation of the film's storyline in October 2015. The pilot was set 17 years after the events of the film and sees Bash Casey, son of Sebastian Valmont and Annette Hargrove, discover his late father's journal. Upon discovering this, he is thrown into a world of lies, sex, and power. The potential series was to have Catherine Merteuil, Bash's step-aunt, attempt to gain power of Valmont International. 19. In February 2016, Taylor John Smith and Samantha Logan were cast, with Smith playing the male lead role of Bash Casey, Sebastian Valmont, and Annette Hargrove's son. 20. Gellar reached a deal with producers to reprise her role as the female lead, Catherine Merteuil. 21. In March, Kate Levering was cast to replace Witherspoon for the role of Annette Hargrove. 22. Several months later, on October 31st, NBC passed on the project and the series did not go forward. 23. 2024 reboot series. Main article, Cruel Intentions, TV series. In October 2021, a television series reboot of Cruel Intentions was in development for IMDb TV, now Amazon Freevee. 24, 25, 26. In April 2023, the reboot was given a series order. 27. It premiered on Amazon Prime Video on November 21, 2024 but was cancelled after 1 season. Musical. Main article, Cruel Intentions, the 90s musical. A 1990s jukebox musical by Kumble, Rosen, and Ross, was first staged in 2015. After 2 runs in Los Angeles and a pop-up engagement in New York, Cruel Intentions, the 90s musical made its off-Broadway debut at the Greenwich Village nightclub Le Poisson Rouge in November 2017 and ran through April 2018. Set to pop and rock hits of the 1990s and songs from the film's soundtrack, the plot follows the manipulations of Sebastian Valmont and Catherine Merteuil, out to destroy anyone who gets in their way. Sarah Michelle Prinz, née Gellar/LR/GHELR, born April 14, 1977, is an American actress. After being spotted by a talent agent as a young child, she made her film debut at age 6 in the television film An Invasion of Privacy, 1983. She had her first leading role in the syndicated teen drama series Swan's Crossing, 1992, which was followed by her breakthrough as Kendall Hart on the ABC soap opera All My Children, 1993 to 1995, for which she won a Daytime Emmy Award. Gellar achieved international recognition for her portrayal of Buffy Summers on the WB/UPN supernatural series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1997 to 2003, which earned her 14 Choice Awards, a Saturn Award, and a nomination for a Golden Globe. Two her film credits include I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, Scream 2, 1997, Cruel Intentions, 1999, Scooby-Doo, 2002, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, 2004, The Grudge, 2004, Southland Tales, 2006, TMNT, 2007, and Do Revenge, 2022. 3. On television, Gellar has starred in Ringer, 2011 to 2012, The Crazy Ones, 2013 to 2014, Wolfpack, 2023, and Dexter, Original Sin, 2024 to 2025, and provided voice work for Robot Chicken, 2005 to 2018, Star Wars Rebels, 2015 to 2016, and Masters of the Universe, Revelation, 2021. In 2015, she co-founded Food Stirs, an e-commerce baking company. For her cookbook, Stirring Up Fun with Food, was published in 2017. Early life. Gellar was born in New York City on April 14, 1977. She is the only child of Rosalind, née Greenfield, a nursery school teacher, and Arthur Gellar, a garment worker. 5-6 Both of her parents are Jewish. 7-8 In 1984, when she was 7, her parents divorced and she was raised by her mother on Manhattan's Upper East Side. 9 While growing up, she lost contact with her father, from whom she remained estranged until his death in 2001. 10 11 12 She once described him as non-existent. 13 And stated, "My father, you can just say, is not in the picture. I'm not being deliberately evasive about him, it's just that there's so little to say." 12 14 15 Gellar was a competitive figure skater, once finishing in 3rd place at a New York State regional competition. 16 As well as having a black belt in Taekwondo. 16 With her single mother working just above the poverty line. 17 Gellar received a partial scholarship to study at the Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, where she experienced bullying. 16-18 She remarked, "I was different and that's the one thing you can't be at school, because you're ostracized. I didn't have the money these kids had." 19 As a working child actress, she was not present in class for a considerable amount of time, and recalled having more absences in the first month than you're supposed to have for an entire year. 16 She then briefly attended the Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, but dropped out due to acting obligations. 16 Gellar graduated from the Professional Children's School 2021 in 1994 as a straight A student with a 4.0 grade average. 22 23 24 As she spent significant time working on All My Children while trying to graduate. 25 The majority of her senior year was completed through guided study. 26 Career beginnings and breakthrough, 1981 to 1996. At the age of 4, Gellar was spotted by an agent in a restaurant in Upper Manhattan. 27 2 weeks later, she auditioned for a part in the television film An Invasion of Privacy. At the audition, she read both her own lines and those of Valerie Harper, impressing the directors enough to cast her in the role. 16 The film aired on CBS in January 1983. 28 While growing up, Gellar appeared in television commercials for such brands as Burger King, Shake and Bake, Duncan Hines, and Avon. 2930 A 1982 advertisement for Burger King, in which she claimed the brand made larger and better tasting burgers than competitor McDonald's, was one of the first attack ads in the fast food industry. 31 Executives at McDonald's parent company were so enraged that they sued all parties involved, naming Gellar and reportedly banning her from eating at the food chain. 32 33 34 In a 2004 interview, She recalled, "I wasn't allowed to eat there. It was tough because, when you're a little kid, McDonald's is where all your friends have their birthday parties, so I missed out on a lot of apple pies." 35-36. She was also signed up as a model for Wilhelmina. 1637. Gellar appeared in a safety skit during the September 28, 1982 episode of Late Night with David Letterman. 38. Throughout the 1980s, she guest starred in various television series, such as Spencer, For Hire and Crossbow, and played minor roles in the films Over the Brooklyn Bridge, 1984, Crossroads, 1986, and Funny Farm, 1988, though her scenes in the latter two were cut. 39. She obtained a larger role as the daughter of a prostitute in the B-thriller High Stakes, 1989. 40. 41. 42. At the age of 9, she acted in the off-Broadway production The Widow Clare 1643. 44. As well as in the kids sing-along VHS tapes Camp Melody and USS Songboat by Kids Class 6. 45. 46. In 1989, she shared hosting duties with Soleil Moon Frye and Rod Brogan in the syndicated weekly variety show Girl Talk, based on the board game of the same name. 47. 48. It only produced 5 episodes. 49. Gellar portrayed 13-year-old Molly in the initial production of Neil Simon's play Jake's Women, which ran at the Old Globe Theater in San Diego, California, from March to April 1990. 50. In 1991, she was cast as a young Jacqueline Bouvier in A Woman Named Jackie. The miniseries won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Limited Series. Gellar obtained her first leading role, as a mayor's manipulative daughter, in the 1992 syndicated teen serial Swan's Crossing, which chronicled the lives of a group of wealthy teenagers. She felt that playing a villainous character gave her the call for better and more varied acting skills, while the gig's weekly payment proved a financial aid for Gellar and her mother. 16. The series ran for a 65-episode season and earned her 2 Young Artist Award nominations for Best Young Actress. 51. Gellar made her debut on the ABC soap opera All My Children in 1993, playing Kendall Hart, the long-lost teenage daughter of character Erica Kane, Susan Lucci. As she got the role, Gellar was complimented as having the acting talent and the forceful personality needed to go up against Lucci's experience. Kendall was supposed to be like a younger version of Erica. 52. Her stint on the show was successful as longtime fans of the soap saw her as the second coming of Erica. 53. Writers showcased her more after her initial reception and she became a household name to the soap opera medium. 53. In 1995, at the age of 18, she won a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Younger Actress in a Drama Series for the role. 54. The same year, Gellar left the show and moved to Los Angeles to pursue other acting opportunities. 55. 56. In 1996, she filmed the ABC television film Beverly Hills Family Robinson, in which she played a spoiled adolescent. Worldwide recognition, 1997 to 2003. After reading the script for Joss Whedon's television series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which follows Buffy Summers, a teenager burdened with the responsibility of fighting occult foes and supernatural occurrences, Gellar screen tested for the role of Cordelia Chase. 57. Whedon then asked her to come back in and audition for the title role. 58. 1659. The show premiered in March 1997, to widespread critical and popular acclaim. 60. Gellar's Buffy, created to subvert the stereotypical female horror movie victim. 61. Was described by Entertainment Weekly as one of the 100 greatest female characters in American television. 262. Buffy ran for 7 seasons and 144 episodes. 63. And during its broadcast, earned Gellar 14 Choice Awards, the Saturn Award for Best Genre Television Actress, and a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actress, Television Series Drama. 64. She sang during the series' musical episode Once More, with Feeling, which spawned an original cast album, released in 2002. 65. 66. During the early airing of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Gellar made her first major film appearances in two successful slasher films. In I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, she took on the role of ill-fated beauty queen Helen Shivers. 67 Washington Post found the cast to be solid, 68 in what San Francisco Chronicle described as a competent but uninspired film. 67 budgeted at $17 million, the film made $125 million globally. 69 70 71 For her part, Gellar earned a Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Favorite Supporting Actress, Horror and a MTV Movie Award nomination for Best Breakthrough Performance. 72 73 in Scream 2, 1997, 74 Gellar played a likewise ill-fated vain character, this time that of sorority sister Cece Cooper. She filmed her scenes in between shots of Buffy and had only recently finished work on I Know What You Did Last Summer. Despite the hectic scheduling, she agreed to perform in Scream 2 without having read the script, on the basis of the success of the first film. 75 Scream 2 grossed over $172 million worldwide. 76 77 In January 1998, Gellar hosted Saturday Night Live for the first time. 78 She returned as a host in May 1999 and October 2002, and made two cameo appearances in May 2000, including one in which she introduced Britney Spears' performance of Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know. In 1998, she also provided her voice for the Gwendy doll in Small Soldiers 79 and for the character of Marie in the King of the Hill episode And They Call It Bobby Love. 25 Gellar's cameo as a girl sitting in the high school cafeteria in the sleeper hit She's All That, 1999, 80 was soon followed by her first top-billing film role, as a struggling restaurant owner, in the romantic comedy Simply Irresistible, 1999. 81-82 The film received negative reviews and flopped at the box office. 83 But Roger Ebert found her to be lovely in what he described as an old-fashioned comedy. 84. In Roger Cumble's Cruel Intentions, 1999, a modern-day retelling of Les Liaisons Dangereuses, Gellar portrayed Catherine Merteuil, a cocaine addict with an appetite for manipulating people. 85 In his review for the film, Ebert felt that she is effective as a bright girl who knows exactly how to use her act as a tramp. 86 And in an interview with Chicago Tribune, Cumble described her as the most professional actor I ever worked with. 16 The film was a hit at the box office, grossing $75 million worldwide, and went on to become a cult classic. 87 88 89 Gellar and co-star Selma Blair obtained the Best Kiss Award at the 2000 MTV Movie Awards. 90 92 In Angel, a spin-off series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Gellar reprised her titular role for a 3-episode arc, starting in 1999. 93. In 2000, Gellar appeared as a film studio executive in the HBO series Sex and the City episode Escape from New York. Her next film, James Chubak's independent drama Harvard Man, 2001, 94 95 96 in which she starred as the sharp and shrewd daughter of a mobster. 97 helped her shed her good girl image, along with Cruel Intentions, according to Peter Travers of Rolling Stone. 98 In 2002, Gellar portrayed Daphne Blake in the live-action comedy Scooby-Doo. For the production, she trained with a Hong Kong wire team, and commuted between Queensland and California every 2 weeks due to her simultaneous commitment to Buffy. 99 Despite negative reviews, A.O. Scott of the New York Times felt that her performance added a snarl of Powerpuff feminism to her character's ditzy stereotype. 100 And with a global gross of $275 million, 101 Scooby-Doo emerged as Gellar's most widely seen film to date. 102 Her role earned her the Teen Choice Award for Choice Movie Actress, Comedy. 103 With Jack Black, she hosted the 2002 MTV Movie Awards, which attracted 7.1 million viewers on its June 6 broadcast, achieving the show's highest rating ever at the time. 104 105. During her growing film career, Gellar continued to work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but she decided to leave the series after the 7th season. When asked why, she explained, "This isn't about leaving for a career in movies, or in theater, it's more of a personal decision. I need a rest." 106, 107, 108, 109. In her feature in Esquire magazine, Gellar expressed her pride for her work on Buffy. "I truly believe that it is one of the greatest shows of all time, and it will go down in history as that. And I don't feel that that is a cocky statement. We changed the way that people looked at television." 110. Film roles, 2004 to 2010. Gellar in 2004. After the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Gellar reprised the role of Daphne in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, 2004. 111, 112. Like the first film, Scooby-Doo 2 was a commercial success despite a negative critical response. 113. In Takashi Shimizu's The Grudge, 2004, she portrayed Karen Davis, an exchange student in Tokyo who becomes exposed to a supernatural curse. 114. The film received mixed reviews from critics. 115, 116, but was a major box office hit. 117, 118, grossing more than $110 million in North America and $187 million globally. 119. She received a MTV Movie Award nomination for Best Frightened Performance as well as a Teen Choice Award nomination for Choice Movie Actress, Thriller. 120. Gellar provided her voice for the character Gina Vendetti in The Simpsons episode The Wandering Jeevee, which aired in March 2004, and went on to voice several recurring characters of the animated television series Robot Chicken, starting in 2005. Gellar starred in Richard Kelly's Southland Tales, 2006, as a psychic adult film star who creates a reality television series based on prophetic visions. Drawn to the batshit ambitious ideas for the film 121, she accepted the role before she even read the script. 122, 123, 124. Southland Tales polarized critics upon its debut at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival and found a limited audience in theaters. 125. However, Jay Hoberman for Village Voice remarked that the director contrived a memorable comic performance from Gellar, while the film gathered a cult following in subsequent years. 126. In 2006, Gellar briefly reprised the role of Karen in the sequel The Grudge 2. 127, 128, 129, and starred in Asif Kapadia's psychological thriller The Return, as a businesswoman haunted by memories of her childhood and the mysterious death of a young woman. 130. The Return was a critical and commercial failure, grossing only $11 million. 131, 132. Jeanette Katsoulis of the New York Times called it a career stagnation. 133. In 2007, Gellar voiced Ella and April O'Neil in Happily Ever After and TMNT, respectively. 134, 135, 136. She starred in the romantic comedy Suburban Girl and the drama The Air I Breathe, both of which were screened at the 2007 Tribeca Film Festival and released in January 2008. 137, 138. In Suburban Girl, she took on the role of a New York City editor and the love interest of a much older businessman, Alec Baldwin. In The Air I Breathe, Gellar portrayed an up-and-coming pop singer. 139, 140. The New York Times described the latter as a gangster movie with delusions of grandeur, 141, while DVD Talk noted that her character here has the deepest emotional arc, and she hits all the right notes. 142. The psychological thriller Possession, in which Gellar starred as a lawyer whose life is thrown into chaos after a car accident sends her husband and brother-in-law into comas, had a range of release dates in the United States between 2008 and 2009, due to financial problems at Yari Film Group. 143, 144, 145. The film ultimately went to DVD in March 2010. 146. In Veronica Decides to Die, an adaptation of the 1998 novel by Paulo Coelho. 147, 148. Gellar starred as a depressed woman who rediscovers the joy in life when she finds out that she only has days to live following a suicide attempt. 149. Initially released in some countries in 2009 and 2010, the film was distributed domestically in January 2015. 150, 151, 152. Frank Sheck of The Hollywood Reporter found the actress to be reasonably compelling in what he called a ponderous and silly misfire. 153. Hiatus and sporadic output, 2011 to 2020. Gellar took a 2-year hiatus from acting following the birth of her daughter in 2009, and in 2011, she signed to star and work as executive producer for the CW's Ringer, in which she played the dual role of twin sisters, one of whom is on the run and manages to hide by assuming the wealthy life of the other. Gellar has stated that part of her decision to return to television was because it allowed her to both work and raise her family. 154, 155, 156. Despite a large fan base. 157, 158. The series received mixed reviews. 159, 160, 161, and was cancelled after the first season. 162. For her portrayal, she received several award nominations, including one for the Teen Choice Award for Choice Television Actress, Drama. 163, 164. Gellar with Robin Williams at an event for The Crazy Ones in 2013. In September 2011, Gellar returned as a guest star on All My Children before the show's ending, but not as Kendall Hart. 165. She portrayed a patient at Pine Valley Hospital who tells Maria Santos that she is Erica Kane's daughter, and states that she saw vampires before they became trendy, a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She voiced different characters in the American Dad episodes Virtual Insanity and Adventures in Haley Sitting, which aired in November 2011 and December 2012, respectively. 166, 167, 168. On September 30, 2012, she reprised her role of Gina Vendetti in the premiere episode of The Simpsons season 24. 169, 170. A fan of Robin Williams for years, once Gellar learned that he was making the CBS single-camera sitcom The Crazy Ones, 2013 to 2014, she contacted her friend Sarah de S.A. Rego, the wife of Williams' best friend, Bobcat Goldthwait, in order to lobby for a co-starring role. 171. She obtained the part of an advertising director who runs an agency with her father. 172, 173. Digital Spy felt that Williams shares a warm, genuine chemistry with his on-screen offspring Gellar. 174. As part of a mixed critical response. 175, 176, 177. The series earned Gellar the People's Choice Award for Favorite Actress in a New Television Series. 178. Following the conclusion of The Crazy Ones and the death of Williams, Gellar took another sabbatical from screen acting, stating that she had been working her entire life and needed that break to focus on raising her children. 179. During that period, she made an appearance as Cinderella in a March 2015 episode of Whitney Avalon's YouTube channel series Princess Rap Battle. 180. Voiced a recurring character known as the Seventh Sister in the second season of the animated science fiction series Star Wars Rebels, 2015 to 2016, 181, 182, and guest starred as herself in the series finale of The Big Bang Theory, which aired on May 16, 2019. 183. Gellar was also attached to several television projects that ultimately were not picked up for production. 184. These included a 2016 pilot for a series based on Cruel Intentions, in which she reprised her role of Catherine Merteuil. 185, 186. Resurgence, 2021, present. In 2021, Gellar voiced Teela in Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe, Revelation, an animated series for Netflix. 188 in 2022, she made her first live-action film appearances in 13 years with brief roles in Smith's Clerks 3 and Jennifer Caden Robinson's Do Revenge, released in theaters and on Netflix respectively, in the same week. 190 Gellar's part as a headmistress in Do Revenge was specifically written for her as a tribute to her Cruel Intentions character. 191 Despite a limited screen time, it was described as a sizable and unforgettable role by Alison Stein of Salon.com and Evan Romano of Men's Health, respectively. 192 Romano considered it a brilliant move to let audiences know that this movie belongs. 193. Gellar starred as an arson investigator in the Paramount Plus supernatural drama series Wolfpack, 2023, for which she also served as an executive producer. 194 Critics praised her performance but found the series to be bereft of a voice. 196 In another Paramount Plus production, the prequel series Dexter, Original Sin, 2024 to 2025, she played a forensics expert and the title character's boss. 197 She made a cameo appearance as Helen Shivers, during a dream sequence, in Robinson's sequel I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025. 198. Gellar is set to appear in the horror sequel Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. 199 Provide her voice for Breaking Bear, an adult animated series on Tubi. 200 and star in and produce a television adaptation of Bad Summer People. 201 She is slated to reprise her role as Buffy and serve as an executive producer of an upcoming Buffy series. 202. Other ventures. Activism and philanthropy. Gellar has been an active advocate for various charities, including breast cancer research, Project Angel Food, Habitat for Humanity and CARE. Of her charitable pursuits, she said, "I started because my mother taught me a long time ago that even when you have nothing, there's ways to give back. And what you get in return for that is tenfold. But it was always hard because I couldn't do a lot. I couldn't do much more than just donate money when I was on Buffy because there wasn't time. And now that I have the time, it's amazing." 203. In 1999, Gellar helped Habitat for Humanity's project of building homes in Dominican Republic. 204. 203 With Project Angel Food, she delivered healthy meals to people infected with AIDS, and through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, she granted sick children's wishes of meeting her while working on Buffy. 203 In 2007, Gellar was featured in Vaseline's Skin is Amazing campaign. 205 In which she agreed to auction nude post photos of herself on eBay to raise money for the Coalition of Skin Diseases, an organization which supports clinical research, fosters physician and patient education. 206. 207. In 2011, Gellar joined the Nestle Share the Joy of Reading program, which promotes reading to young children. 208. 209 The following year, she was presented with the Tom Mankiewicz Leadership Award during the Beastly Ball at the Los Angeles Zoo. 210. 211 In 2013, she hosted the Kids Talk Music and Art Festival, an event that benefited the One Voice Scholars Program. 212 In 2014 and 2015, Gellar hosted two fundraisers for Mattel Children's Hospital UCLA. 213. 214 In 2021, she promoted Subaru of America's donation of 100 million meals to Feeding America. 215 In 2025, she collaborated with Allison Hannigan in GSK's Ask to Be Sure campaign, to raise awareness about meningitis and encourage vaccination among teens. 216. Business and media. Gellar has graced the covers of numerous magazines throughout her career. She appeared on the August 2 to 8, 1997 cover of TV Guide and the February 1998 cover of 17. 217. The list went on to include Nylon, Marie Claire, Vogue, Glamour, Esquire, Allure, Cosmopolitan, FHM, Rolling Stone, and Elle, among others. 218. 219. 220. 221. Wearing a black lace bra, she was on the cover of the December 2007 issue of Maxim. She was featured on the cover of Gotham and their main story in the March 2008 issue. 222. In 1999, Gellar signed on to be the face of Maybelline, becoming the company's first celebrity spokeswoman since Linda Carter in the late 1970s. 223. 224. She has appeared in advertisements for Got Milk, Proactive, Colgate, and Cascade. 225. 226. 227. 228. Drawing on her background in horror films, she has starred in several genre-inspired promotional campaigns, such as Killer Skin, a commercial for Olay that aired during the Super Bowl. LIII 229. 230 Philosophies rated R in 2024. 231 and Uber Ones. I Know What You Could Have Saved Last Summer in 2025. 232. She also appeared in the music videos for Bree Sharp's David Duchovny, 1999, Marcy Playground's Comin' Up From Behind, 1999, Stone Temple Pilots' Sour Girl, 2000, and Outkast's Land of a Million Drums, 2002. 233. 234. 235. In October 2015, Gellar, along with entrepreneurs Galit Leibau and Greg Fleischman, co-founded Food Stirs, a startup food crafting brand that sold easy-to-make organic baking mixes and kits for families through e-commerce and retail. By 2018, the brand's products were sold at 7,500 retailers nationwide, including Starbucks, Whole Foods, Walmart, WW and Amazon. 236. 237. 238. By 2022, Food Stirs had ceased operations, and Gellar sold off her remaining stake in the company. 239. Gellar released a cookbook titled Stirring Up Fun with Food on April 18, 2017. The book was co-authored by Guy Russo, and features numerous food crafting ideas. 240. Artistry and Reception. Gellar's wax figure at Madame Tussauds. Known for often playing characters with strength, sensitivity, and snark in the horror genre. 241. Gellar has been viewed as a scream queen throughout the majority of her career. 242. She has stated that horror offers actresses the best roles through which they can really shine, and that it is in television where women are the stars, but in films we're still struggling to play the leads. 242. Thus, she feels that she couldn't just be the girlfriend or the wife in a film. She has said, "So I'll be wherever the good female roles are. I like horror." 242. Writing for Bloody Disgusting, Alex DiVincenzo asserted that Buffy the Vampire Slayer alone should be enough to cement her horror icon status, and highlighting some of her roles in the genre, observed, regardless of whether they made it to the end credits, her characters were intelligent, resourceful, and empowering. 242. She has ranked 6th among the all-time greatest horror scream queens by CinemaBlend. 243. 4th among the 9 greatest scream queens in all of horror by Sci-Fi. 244. And 8th among the 10 best scream queens of the 90s by Screen Rant. 245. By the late 1990s, Gellar had become a household name, as well as one of Hollywood's it girls. 25. In 1998, she appeared on Entertainment Weekly's Top 12 Entertainers of the Year and the Most Beautiful list by People magazine. In 1999, she was voted number 1 in FHM's 100 Sexiest Women of the Year. 246. She was featured in the magazine's German, Dutch, South African, Danish and Romanian editions of the list since 1998. 247 TopSocialite.com listed her as the 8th sexiest woman of the 1990s. 248. In 2002, Gellar was honored with a Woman of the Year award by Glamour magazine. 249 and her wax figure by Madame Tussauds was unveiled as part of the Trail of Vampires exhibition. 250 between 2002 and 2008, she was featured on the annual Maxim Hot 100 list. 251 252 253 the magazine named her the 2009 Woman of the Year. 254 she was also featured in Google's Top 10 Women searches of 2002 and 2003, coming in at no 8 255 and was included in UK Channel 4's 100 Greatest Sex Symbols in 2007, ranking at number 16. 256 other appearances and listings include Glamour's 50 Best Dressed Women in the World in 2004 and 2005, 247 Entertainment Weekly's Top 100 TV Icons in 2007, and Buddy's 100 Sexiest Women of 2011. 257. Personal life. Gellar with her husband Freddie Prinze Jr. in 2007. Gellar met her future husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., while they were filming the 1997 teen horror film I Know What You Did Last Summer. 258 but the two did not begin dating until 2000. She and Prinze have worked together several times, including when they played each other's respective love interests as Fred and Daphne in Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. 259 they were engaged in April 2001 and married in Mexico on September 1, 2002. 260 in a ceremony officiated by Adam Shankman, a director and choreographer with whom Gellar had worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. 261 in 2007, in honor of their 5th year of marriage, Gellar legally changed her name to Sarah Michelle Prinze. 16 together, she and Prinze have 2 children, a daughter born in 2009 and a son born in 2012. 262 263 the family lives in Los Angeles. 264. On February 10, 2021, Gellar expressed support for her Buffy the Vampire Slayer co-star Charisma Carpenter after Carpenter made allegations of abuse against series creator Joss Whedon. She also stated, "While I am proud to have my name associated with Buffy Summers, I don't want to be forever associated with the name Joss Whedon." 265. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter published January 18, 2023, Gellar is quoted as saying, "I'll never tell my full story because I don't get anything out of it." Matthew Ryan Phillippe, /Philippi/Phillippe, born September 10, 1974, is an American actor. After appearing as Billy Douglas on the soap opera One Life to Live, 1992 to 1993, and making his feature film debut in Crimson Tide, 1995, he came to prominence in the late 1990s with starring roles in I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, 54, 1998, Playing by Heart, 1998, and Cruel Intentions, 1999. Throughout the 2000s and beyond, Phillippe took on a range of parts in films such as The Way of the Gun, 2000, Antitrust, 2001, Gosford Park, 2001, Igby Goes Down, 2002, The Eye Inside, 2003, Crash, 2004, Flags of Our Fathers, 2006, Breach, 2007, Stop Loss, 2008, MacGruber, 2010, The Bang Bang Club, 2010, and The Lincoln Lawyer, 2011. Outside of film, Phillippe appeared in the lead role of Bob Lee Swagger on USA Network's Shooter, 2016 to 2018, and reprised his portrayal of Dixon Piper in the Peacock adaptation of MacGruber, 2021. Early life. Phillippe was born in Newcastle, Delaware. To his mother, Susan, ran a daycare center in the family's house. His father, Richard Phillippe, was a chemist. Phillippe has 3 sisters, 3 and is of part French descent. 4. He graduated from Barbizon in Wilmington, Delaware. 5. 6. Phillippe earned a black belt in Taekwondo in his youth. 7. Career. Early career, 1990 to 1996. Phillippe's acting career began after being signed to Kathy Parker Management in Voorhees, New Jersey. Shortly after, he made an appearance in the ABC daytime drama One Life to Live. His character, Billy Douglas, whom he played from 1992 to 1993, was the first gay teenager on a daytime soap opera. 8. After leaving the show, Phillippe moved to Los Angeles, where he appeared in a number of small parts in various television series including Matlock, Due South, the TV miniseries The Secrets of Lake Success, and movies, including the 1995 film Crimson Tide and the 1996 film White Squall. Rise to prominence, 1997 to 2001. He was cast in the 1997 horror film, I Know What You Did Last Summer. The film was a success and led to Phillippe gaining wider renown and being cast in a few more high-profile films, including 54 and Playing by Heart in 1998. In 1999, he starred in Cruel Intentions, a modern retelling of the Coderlos de Laclos novel Les Liaisons Dangereuses, which also starred Phillippe's future wife, Reese Witherspoon. It was a success among its intended teenage audience, cementing Phillippe's ability to play characters that require sex appeal. Phillippe can also be seen in the Marcy Playground music video Comin' Up From Behind, which appears on the film's soundtrack. In the years following, he appeared in the crime drama The Way of the Gun, starred as a famed software engineer in the thriller Antitrust, and co-starred in Robert Altman's Gosford Park, which was nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture. Critical success and later work, 2002 to 2011. A blonde man in a suit looks away from the camera. Phillippe at the 2010 Toronto International Film Festival. Phillippe had supporting parts in the films Igby Goes Down, 2002, and Crash, 2005, which won the Best Picture Oscar. His 2003 film The Eye Inside premiered on cable. In 2006, Phillippe played real-life Navy corpsman John Bradley in the war film Flags of Our Fathers, directed by Clint Eastwood and following the journey of the United States Marines who lifted the flag at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Phillippe has said that the film was the best experience of his career because of its personal meaning to him and that he would have given his life to fight in World War II, noting that both of his grandfathers fought in the war. 10. His performance was positively received by film critic Richard Roper, who thought it was Phillippe's best to date. 11. Phillippe's next role was in the thriller Breach, in which he played FBI investigator Eric O'Neill opposite Chris Cooper. He has since commented that he believes Cooper to be the best actor America has to offer. 12. He then starred in Chaos, in which he plays a police officer, Five Fingers, a drama set in Morocco, Kimberly Pierce's Iraq War film Stop Loss, and the futuristic Franklin. Next up for Phillippe was a rare comedic role as L.T. Dixon Piper in MacGruber, a film based on the Saturday Night Live, SNL, skit of the same name. It was released in the US and Canada on May 21, 2010. 13-14. As part of the film's promotion, Phillippe made his SNL hosting debut on April 17, 2010. 15. 2 days later, on April 19, 2010, Phillippe co-hosted WWE Raw, also in support of MacGruber. 16. That same year, Phillippe starred in the Canadian and South African production The Bang Bang Club, which tells the real-life story of the Bang Bang Club, 4 South African photographers whose images documented the bloody end of apartheid. 17. Phillippe stars as Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer Greg Marinovich. Filming for the movie took place in South Africa beginning in March 2009. Phillippe described the filming process as really run and gun. There were no comforts, and I actually appreciate that. He noted that the experience affected him, explaining that we were shooting during the day in Soweto, and it was an endless procession of funerals. Death is so common. Kids there have no quality of life. It has made me want to get more involved in Africa-based charities. 7. An early cut of the film was shown at Cannes Film Festival in May 2009, 18 with the final version shown at Cannes in May 2010. 19. The film officially premiered in September 2010 at the 2010 Toronto International Film Festival. The US rights to the movie were picked up by Tribeca Film 20, which premiered the movie at the 2011 Tribeca Film Festival and opened it in limited release on April 22, 2011. 21. In mid-2010, Phillippe began filming the adaptation of popular crime novel The Lincoln Lawyer, taking on the role of Louis Roulette, a wealthy Los Angeles playboy accused of a crime for which his culpability is unclear. The movie opened on March 18, 2011-22, and was generally well received by critics, scoring 82% on Rotten Tomatoes as of late March 2011. 23. Phillippe filmed his next project, the heist action film Setup, in December 2010 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. 24. The movie focuses on a group of young men from Detroit whose attempt at a diamond heist goes awry and brings them into conflict with a mob boss. 25. The movie had a straight-to-DVD release on September 20, 2011. 26. Phillippe next filmed the dramatic dark comedy Revenge for Jolly in mid-2011. The movie, which tells the story of a man set on finding his dog's murderer, premiered at the 2012 Tribeca Film Festival. 27. 28. Phillippe subsequently began work on another movie, Straight A's, in August 2011. 29. Filmed in Shreveport, Louisiana, it stars Phillippe as a man who has been in and out of rehab for years and is now haunted by his mother's ghost. 30. Return to television and focus on directing and producing, 2012, present. Starting in November 2011, Phillippe spent several months filming a 10-episode arc on the fifth and final season of the critically acclaimed TV show Damages. 31. 32. 33. Playing Channing McLaren, a Julian Assange-like character. 34. It was his first regular TV role since his breakout part on One Life to Live. 35. The season aired from July to September 2012. 36. 37. 38. In 2012, Phillippe focused on his directorial debut, Catch Hell, an indie thriller in which Phillippe stars as a fading film actor who must devise a creative escape after he is kidnapped and tortured while making a movie in Shreveport, Louisiana. In addition to directing, co-producing, and starring in the film, Phillippe co-wrote the script with Joe Gossett. 39. 40. Phillippe has said that the film is based partly on his and his friends' life experiences, including the filming of Straight A's in Shreveport in 2011, but is partly meant to be a fun, scary movie in the vein of Misery. Filming took place on location in Shreveport in the fourth quarter of 2012. 41. The movie was released on October 10, 2014. 42. 43. In October 2013, Phillippe began filming the action thriller Reclaim in Puerto Rico. The movie features Phillippe as an American man who travels to Puerto Rico with his wife to adopt an orphan from Haiti. After a confrontation with a local, the child vanishes. 44. 45. Reclaim was released on September 19, 2014. 46. In May 2014, ABC picked up the pilot for Secrets and Lies, which was shot in Charlotte, North Carolina, in early 2014. 47. The 10-episode mystery series debuted on March 1, 2015, as a mid-season entry during the 2014-15 US television season. It is based on the Australian series of the same name, with Phillippe playing a family man who becomes a prime murder suspect after he discovers the body of a child. 48. Phillippe was also attached to a number of possible future film roles, including Chronicle, a film that was to have been directed by Jay Alimo that would have seen him in a story about two childhood friends who reunite to launch the biggest marijuana dealership in New York City. 49. Phillippe, Breckenmeyer, Seth Green, and David E. Siegel run a production company called Lucid Films. 10. In 2010, Phillippe and Meyer began getting a show going for Showtime, serving as executive producers. 7. The comedy, Heavy and Rolling, tells the story of a Manhattan town car driver who assumes different identities as he moves towards madness. 50. Phillippe also served as executive producer and narrator on Isolated, a documentary that follows 5 surfers as they travel to remote New Guinea in search of untouched waves. 51-52 The documentary premiered in January 2013 at the 2013 Santa Barbara International Film Festival. 53-54 In 2015, Phillippe was cast in the lead role of Bob Lee Swagger on the USA Network thriller drama series Shooter, which premiered in November 2016. 55 In February 2020, Phillippe was announced in the role of Cody Hoyt in the ABC crime drama series Big Sky, which was created by David E. Kelly. 56 In 2021, Phillippe starred in One Shot, a British action thriller film directed by James Nunn. 57 Personal life. In 1997, Phillippe met actress Reese Witherspoon at a party for her 21st birthday. 58 The following year, the pair starred together in Cruel Intentions. Phillippe and Witherspoon, who was 6 months pregnant, married on June 5, 1999, in a small ceremony at the Old Wide Awake plantation near Charleston, South Carolina. 59 Their daughter was born in 1999, 59-61 and their son was born in 2003. 62 On October 30, 2006, Phillippe and Witherspoon released a statement announcing that they were formally separating. 63 Witherspoon filed for divorce on November 8, 2006, citing irreconcilable differences as the cause. 64 In light of the couple's lack of a prenuptial agreement, she requested that the court refuse to grant spousal support to Phillippe and asked for joint legal custody and sole physical custody of the pair's 2 children. Phillippe filed for joint physical custody of the children on May 15, 2007, and did not seek any spousal support. 65 The couple's marriage officially ended on October 5, 2007, with final divorce arrangements settled on June 13, 2008, according to court documents. Phillippe and Witherspoon share joint custody of their children. 66 Phillippe began dating model and actress Alexis Knapp in May 2010. 67 They ended their relationship in September that same year. 68 After their breakup, Knapp discovered that she was pregnant by Phillippe and gave birth to a daughter in 2011. 69-70 Phillippe began dating law student Paulina Slagter in 2011. 71 They became engaged in 2015 but ended their relationship in 2016. 72 In March 2017, Slagter filed a harassment report with the LAPD after Phillippe had been harassing her via text messages. 73 In September 2017, Elsie Hewitt, an ex-girlfriend of Phillippe, filed a lawsuit against him for allegedly punching her, kicking her, and throwing her downstairs. 74 Hewitt was granted an emergency protective order by the LAPD stating Phillippe could not come within 100 yards, 91 m, of her. 75 In October 2019, the case was settled. Laura Jean Reese Witherspoon, born March 22, 1976, is an American actress and producer. She is the recipient of various accolades, including an Academy Award, a Primetime Emmy Award, and 2 Golden Globe Awards. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2006 and 2015, and Forbes listed her among the world's 100 most powerful women in 2019 and 2021. In 2021, Forbes named her the world's highest-earning actress, and in 2023, she was named one of the richest celebrities in America with an estimated net worth of $440 million. 1-2. Witherspoon began her career as a teenager, making her screen debut in The Man in the Moon, 1991. After starring in the 1996 films Freeway and Fear, her breakthrough came in 1999 with a supporting role in Cruel Intentions, and for her portrayal of Tracy Flick in the black comedy Election. She gained wider recognition for playing Elle Woods in the comedy Legally Blonde, 2001, and its 2003 sequel, and for starring in the romantic comedy Sweet Home Alabama, 2002. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress for portraying June Carter Cash in the musical biopic Walk the Line, 2005. Following a career downturn, during which her sole box office success was the romantic drama Water for Elephants, 2011, Witherspoon made a comeback by producing and starring as Cheryl Strayed in the drama Wild, 2014, which earned her a second Academy Award nomination. She has since worked primarily in television, producing and starring in several female-led literary adaptations under her company Hello Sunshine. These include the HBO drama series Big Little Lies, 2017 to 2019, the Apple TV Plus drama series The Morning Show, 2019, present, and the Hulu miniseries Little Fires Everywhere, 2020. For the first of these, she won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Limited Series. She has also produced the film adaptations Gone Girl, 2014, and Where the Crawdads Sing, 2022, and the miniseries adaptation Daisy Jones and the Six, 2023. Witherspoon also owns Reese's Book Club and a clothing company, Draper James. She is involved in children's and women's advocacy organizations. She serves on the board of the Children's Defense Fund, CDF, and was named Global Ambassador of Avon Products in 2007, serving as honorary chair of the charitable Avon Foundation dedicated to women's causes. Early life and education. Laura Jean Reese Witherspoon was born on March 22, 1976 at Southern Baptist Hospital, in New Orleans, Louisiana. Her father, a medical doctor, served as a lieutenant in the United States Army Reserve 4-5 and was in private practice as an otolaryngologist until 2012. 6. Her mother, Mary Elizabeth Betty, née Reese, Witherspoon, holds a PhD in pediatric nursing and was a professor of nursing at Vanderbilt University. 7. 8. Witherspoon has claimed descent from Scottish-born John Witherspoon, who signed the United States Declaration of Independence. 9. 10. This claim has not been verified by genealogists from the Society of the Descendants of the Signers of the Declaration of Independence. 11. Her parents are still legally married, although they separated in 1996. 12. Raised as an Episcopalian, Witherspoon has expressed pride in her definitive Southern upbringing, which she said gave her a sense of family and tradition and taught her about being conscientious about people's feelings, being polite, being responsible, and never taking for granted what you have in your life. 13. 14. 15. At age 7, she was selected as a model for a florist's television ads, which motivated her to enroll in acting lessons. 16. At age 11, she took first place in the 10th State Talent Fair. 16. She received high grades in school. 16. And considered herself, as she put it, a big dork who loved reading loads of books. 17. Regarding this passion, she said, I get crazy in a bookstore. It makes my heart beat hard because I want to buy everything. 18. She has been described as a multi-achiever, whom her parents nicknamed Little Type A. 1920 She attended middle school at Harding Academy and graduated from the all-girls Harpeth Hall School in Nashville, where she was a cheerleader. 2113 She later attended Stanford University as an English literature major. 22 but left before graduating to pursue an acting career. 13. Career. 1991 to 2000, early work and breakthrough. Witherspoon attended an open casting call in 1991 for The Man in the Moon, intending to audition for a bit part 13 but instead was cast for the lead role of Danny Trant, a 14-year-old country girl who falls in love for the first time with her 17-year-old neighbor. The film takes place in her native state of Louisiana. According to The Guardian, her performance made an early impression. 23 Film critic Roger Ebert commented, "Her first kiss is one of the most perfect little scenes I've ever seen in a movie." 16. For her role, Witherspoon was nominated for a Young Artist Award, in the category of Best Young Actress. 24 later that year, she made her television debut role in Wildflower with Patricia Arquette. 49 in 1992, Witherspoon appeared in the television film Desperate Choices, To Save My Child, portraying a critically ill young girl. 4. In 1993, Witherspoon played a young wife, Nani Parker, in the CBS miniseries Return to Lonesome Dove, appeared in the Disney film A Far Off Place, and had a minor role in Jack the Bear, which garnered her the Young Artist Award for Best Youth Actress Co-Star. 425 the next year, she had another leading role as Wendy Pfister in the 1994 film SFW, directed by Jeffrey Levy. 26 in 1996, Witherspoon starred in two major films, the thriller Fear alongside Mark Wahlberg 27-28 as Nicole Walker, a teenager who starts dating a man with obsessive tendencies, and the black comedy thriller Freeway, alongside Kiefer Sutherland and Brooke Shields, in which she played Vanessa Lutz 29, a poor girl living in Los Angeles who encounters a serial killer on the way to her grandmother's home in Stockton. 13 The film received positive reviews from critics. San Francisco Chronicle's Mick LaSalle wrote, "Witherspoon, who does a Texas accent, is dazzling, utterly believable in one extreme situation after the other." 30. Witherspoon's performance won her the Best Actress Award at the Cognac Police Film Festival and helped establish her as a rising star. 1331 The production of the film also gave her significant acting experience. She said, "Once I overcame the hurdle of that movie, which scared me to death, I felt like I could try anything." 22. In 1998, Witherspoon had major roles in three films, Overnight Delivery, Pleasantville, and Twilight. 932 In Pleasantville, she starred with Tobey Maguire in a tale about 1990s teenage siblings who are magically transported into the setting of a 1950s television series. She portrayed Jennifer, the sister of Maguire's character who is mainly concerned about appearances, relationships, and popularity. Her performance earned her praise and garnered her the Young Hollywood Award for Best Female Breakthrough Performance. 33 Director Gary Ross applauded her efforts, saying, "She commits to a character so completely and she understands comedy." 22. A year later, Witherspoon co-starred with Alessandro Nivola in the drama thriller Best Laid Plans. She played Lissa, a woman who schemes with her lover Nick to escape a small dead-end town. 4 Also in 1999, she co-starred with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Phillippe in the drama Cruel Intentions, a modern version of the 18th century French novel Les Liaisons Dangereuses. The critic for San Francisco Chronicle praised her performance as Annette Hargrove. Witherspoon is especially good in the least flashy role, and even when called upon to make a series of cute devilish faces, she pulls it off. 34. She also appeared in a music video by Marcy Playground for the film's soundtrack. Next, she appeared in Election, 1999, opposite Matthew Broderick, based on Tom Perrotta's novel of the same name. For her portrayal of Tracy Flick, she earned acclaim and her first nominations in the Golden Globes and in the Independent Spirit Awards. She also won the Best Actress Award from the National Society of Film Critics and the Online Film Critics Society. 35-36 Witherspoon received a rank on the list of 100 greatest film performances of all time by Premiere. 37 Director Alexander Payne said she's Witherspoon got that quality that men find attractive, while women would like to be her friend. But that's just the foundation. Nobody else is as funny or brings such charm to things. She can do anything. 14. Following the success of Election, Witherspoon struggled to find work due to typecasting. 38 I think because the character I played was so extreme and sort of shrewish, people thought that was who I was, rather than me going in and creating a part. I would audition for things and I'd always be the second choice. Studios never wanted to hire me and I wasn't losing the parts to big box office actresses but to ones who I guess people felt differently about, she said. 5 In 2000, Witherspoon had a supporting role in American Psycho as Patrick Bateman's trophy girlfriend, and made a cameo appearance in Little Nicky as the mother of the Antichrist. 32. She also made a guest appearance in the 6th season of Friends as Rachel Green's sister Jill. 39. 2001 to 2006, worldwide recognition. The 2001 film Legally Blonde marked a turning point in Witherspoon's career. She starred as Elle Woods, a fashion merchandising major who decides to become a law student to follow her ex-boyfriend to Harvard Law School. Witherspoon said about the role, "When I read Legally Blonde, I was like, she's from Beverly Hills, she's rich, she's in a sorority. She has a great boyfriend. Oh yeah, she gets dumped. Who cares? I still hate her. So we had to make sure she was the kind of person you just can't hate." 14. Legally Blonde was a box office hit, grossing $96 million domestically. 40. Witherspoon's performance earned her praise from critics, and the press began to refer her as the new Meg Ryan. 41. Roger Ebert commented, "Witherspoon effortlessly animated this material with sunshine and quick wit." 42. And the critic from Salon magazine wrote, "She Witherspoon delineates Elle's character beautifully." 43. Meanwhile, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer concluded, "Witherspoon is a talented comedian who can perk up a scene just by marching in full of pep and drive, and she powers this modest little comedy almost single-handedly." 44. The film earned her a second nomination for Best Actress at the Golden Globes, and an MTV Movie Award for Best Comedic Performance. 45. In 2002, Witherspoon featured in several projects, such as the role of Greta Wolfcastle in The Simpsons episode The Bart Wants What It Wants, and as Cecily in the comedy The Importance of Being Earnest, a film adaptation of Oscar Wilde's play for which she received a Teen Choice Award nomination. 46. 47. Later that year, she starred with Josh Lucas and Patrick Dempsey in Andy Tennant's romantic comedy Sweet Home Alabama, in which she played Melanie Carmichael, a young fashion designer who intends to marry a New York politician but must return to Alabama to divorce her childhood sweetheart, from whom she has been separated for 7 years. Witherspoon regarded it as a personal role as it reminded her of the experience of moving from Nashville to Los Angeles. 48. The film became Witherspoon's biggest live-action box office hit, earning over $35 million in the opening weekend and grossing over $127 million in the U.S. 49. Despite the commercial success, critics gave Sweet Home Alabama negative reviews. The Miami Herald called it a romantic comedy so rote, dull, and predictable. 50. And the press opined that Witherspoon was the only reason the film attracted such a large audience. 51. 52. The Christian Science Monitor wrote of her, "She is not the movie's main attraction, she is its only attraction." 53. The next year, Witherspoon followed up the success of Legally Blonde by starring in the sequel Legally Blonde 2, Red, White and Blonde. Elle Woods has become a Harvard-educated lawyer who is determined to protect animals from cosmetics industry science tests. The sequel was not as financially successful as the first film and it generated mostly negative reviews. USA Today considered the movie plotting, unfunny and almost cringe-worthy, but also wrote, "Reese Witherspoon still does a fine job portraying the fair-haired lovable brainiac, but her top-notch comic timing is wasted on the humorless dialogue." 54. Meanwhile, Salon magazine concluded that the sequel calcifies everything that was enjoyable about the first movie. 55. Despite being panned by critics, the sequel took in over $39 million in its first 5 days in the U.S. box office charts and eventually grossed $90 million in the U.S. 56. Witherspoon was paid $15 million for the role, making her one of Hollywood's consistently highest-paid actresses between 2002 and 2010. 1457. In 2004, Witherspoon starred in Vanity Fair, adapted from the 19th century classic novel Vanity Fair and directed by Myra Nair. Her character, Becky Sharp, is a poor woman with a ruthless determination to find fortune and establish herself a position in society. Witherspoon was carefully costumed to conceal her pregnancy during filming. 58 This pregnancy was not a hindrance to her work, as Witherspoon believed it helped her portrayal of Sharp's character. I love the luminosity that pregnancy brings, I love the fleshiness, I love the ample bosom, it gave me much more to play with, she said. 59-60 The film and Witherspoon's performance received mixed reviews. The Hollywood Reporter wrote, Nair's cast is splendid. Witherspoon does justice to the juicy role by giving the part more buoyancy than naughtiness. 61. The Charlotte Observer called her work an excellent performance that's soft around the edges, and the Los Angeles Times concluded that Becky is a role Reese Witherspoon was born to play. 62-63 However, LA Weekly wrote, Witherspoon ends up conveying so little of what's at once appalling and perversely attractive about the would-be mistress of Vanity Fair, and stated that it may have to do with Witherspoon's vanity. With an Oscar-less, young stars need to be loved more than anyone could conceivably love the real Becky Sharp. 64. Some critics thought she was miscast. 65. Witherspoon attending the premiere of Walk the Line at the 2005 Toronto International Film Festival. In late 2004, Witherspoon starred alongside Mark Ruffalo in the romantic comedy Just Like Heaven. Her character, Elizabeth Masterson, is an ambitious young doctor who is involved in a car accident on her way to a blind date and is left in a coma. Her spirit returns to her old apartment where she later finds true love. 66 Next, she was cast as June Carter Cash, the second wife of singer-songwriter Johnny Cash, Joaquin Phoenix, in James Mangold's Walk the Line, 2005. She never had the chance to meet Carter Cash, as Witherspoon was filming Vanity Fair at the time the singer died. 5 Witherspoon performed her own vocals in the film, and her songs had to be performed in front of a live audience. She was so worried about needing to perform that she asked her lawyer to terminate the film contract. 67 That was the most challenging part of the role, she later recalled. I'd never sung professionally. 68. Subsequently, she had to spend 6 months learning how to sing for the role, including from the help of vocal coach Roger Love. 67 69 70 Witherspoon's portrayal of Carter Cash was acclaimed by critics, with Roger Ebert stating that her performance added boundless energy to the film. 71 She won Best Actress at the Academy Awards, Golden Globes, British Academy Film Awards, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for her performance. 72 73 45. Witherspoon and Phoenix received a nomination for Collaborative Video of the Year from the CMT Music Awards. 73-74 Witherspoon has expressed her passion for the film. I really like in this film that it is realistic and portrays sort of a real marriage, a real relationship where there are forbidden thoughts and fallibility. And it is about compassion in the long haul, not just the short easy solutions to problems. 75. She also stated that she believed Carter Cash was a woman ahead of her time. I think the really remarkable thing about her character is that she did all of these things that we sort of see as normal things in the 1950s, when it wasn't really acceptable for a woman to be married and divorced twice and have 2 different children by 2 different husbands and travel around in a car full of very famous musicians all by herself. She didn't try to comply to social convention, so I think that makes her a very modern woman. 75. After the success of Walk the Line, Witherspoon starred in the fantasy Penelope, as Annie, the best friend of Penelope, Christina Ricci, a girl who has a curse in her family. The film was produced by her company Taipei Films, and filming began in March 2006. 76 The film premiered at the 2006 Toronto International Film Festival 67-77 but went unreleased until February 2008. 78-79. 2007 to 2012, Career Setbacks and Romantic Comedy Films. Witherspoon at the premiere of Monsters vs. Aliens in 2009. Witherspoon admits to spending several years kind of floundering career-wise. Reflecting on this period of time in a December 2014 interview, Witherspoon attributed it to the split from her first husband in October 2006 and their subsequent divorce, stating that she spent a few years just trying to feel better. You know, you can't really be very creative when you feel like your brain is scrambled eggs. She claims that she wasn't making things I was passionate about. I was just kind of working, you know. And it was really clear that audiences weren't responding to anything I was putting out there. 80. Witherspoon appeared in the thriller rendition, in which she played Isabella El Ibrahim, the pregnant wife of a bombing suspect. The film was released in October 2007 and it was her first film appearance since the 2005's Walk the Line. 81. The film received mostly mixed reviews and was deemed a major disappointment at the Toronto International Film Festival. 82. Witherspoon's performance was also criticized. Writing for USA Today, Claudia Poog wrote, "Reese Witherspoon is surprisingly lifeless. She customarily injects energy and spirit into her parts, but here, her performance feels tamped down." 83. In 2008, Witherspoon starred with Vince Vaughn in the comedy Four Christmases, a story about a couple who must spend their Christmas day trying to visit all four of their divorced parents. 84. Despite negative reviews from critics, the film was a box office success, earning more than $120 million domestically and $157 million worldwide. 85. In 2009, Witherspoon voiced Susan Murphy, the lead character in the DreamWorks animation Monsters vs. Aliens, released in March, which grossed $381 million worldwide. 86. 87. She also co-produced the Legally Blonde spin-off Legally Blondes, starring Millie and Becky Rosso. 88. However, Witherspoon did not appear in a live-action film for 2 years after Four Christmases. She told Entertainment Weekly that the break was unplanned, stating that, "I just didn't read anything I liked. There are a lot of really big movies about robots and things and there's not a part for a 34-year-old woman in a robot movie." 89. Witherspoon at the premiere of Water for Elephants in 2011. Witherspoon returned with 3 romances released in 2010, 2011 and 2012, all starring her as a woman caught in a love triangle between 2 men. In the first, she was cast in James L. Brooks' How Do You Know 1991-92, in which she played a former national softball player who struggles to choose between a baseball star boyfriend, Owen Wilson, and a business executive being investigated for white-collar crime, Paul Rudd. Filming took place in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. during the summer and fall of 2009, 93, 94, 95, and it was released on December 17, 2010. The film was critically and commercially unsuccessful. With a budget of more than $100 million, the film only earned $48.7 million worldwide, leading the Los Angeles Times to call it one of the year's biggest flops. 96. The film received mainly unfavorable reviews, with an approval rating of 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, based on 111 reviews as of December 2010. 97. Witherspoon's second love triangle film was the drama Water for Elephants, an adaptation of Sarah Gruen's novel of the same name. She began circus training in March 2010 for her role as Marlena, a glamorous performer stuck in a marriage to a volatile husband, Christoph Waltz, but intrigued by the circus' new veterinarian, Robert Pattinson. 98. Principal photography began between May and early August 2010. 99-100 in various locations in Tennessee, Georgia, and California. It was released on April 22, 2011, and received mixed critical reviews. 101-102. Her last love triangle film began production in Vancouver in September 2010. Directed by McG and released by 20th Century Fox, This Means War saw Witherspoon's character at the center of a battle between best friends, played by Chris Pine and Tom Hardy, who are both in love with her. The film had a sneak peek release on Valentine's Day, before fully opening on February 17, 2012. 103, 104, 105. The film was panned by critics, with a 25% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes 106, and fared poorly at the box office, taking 5th place on its opening weekend with sales of $17.6 million. The New York Times remarked that this extended the box office cold streak for the Oscar-winning Ms. Witherspoon. 107 In a 2012 interview with MTV, Witherspoon jokingly referred that 2010 to 12 was her love triangle period. 108. 2012 to 2015, Resurgence and Career Expansion. In September 2011, a year after beginning work on This Means War, she filmed a small role in Jeff Nichols' coming-of-age drama Mud in Arkansas, playing Juniper, the former girlfriend of a fugitive, Matthew McConaughey, who enlists 2 local boys to help him evade capture and rekindle his romance with her. 109 110 Mud premiered in May 2012 in competition for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, but did not win. 111 112 Following its American debut at the Sundance Film Festival on January 19, 2013 113 The film had a limited release in selected North American theaters on April 26, 2013. 114 115 Witherspoon at the premiere of Mud at the 2012 Cannes Film Festival. Witherspoon attending the premiere of Mud at the 2012 Cannes Film Festival. Witherspoon next starred in Devil's Knot, which was directed by Adam Egoyan, and based on the true crime book of the same name, examining the controversial case of the West Memphis 3. Like Mud, the film is set in Arkansas. She played Pam Hobbs, the mother of one of 3 young murder victims. In an interview subsequent to her casting in the film, Egoyan noted that although the role requires an emotionally loaded journey, he met with Reese, and talked at length about the project, and she's eager to take on the challenge. 116. Filming took place in Georgia in June and July 2012. 117 118 119 and Witherspoon was pregnant with her 3rd child during filming. 120 121 The film premiered at the 2013 Toronto International Film Festival. 122 123 Followed by a release in selected American theaters on May 9, 2014. 124 Although the film received mainly negative reviews, London's Evening Standard thought Witherspoon was the strongest, most involving character. 125 In 2012, Witherspoon founded production company Pacific Standard, now part of Hello Sunshine. Her goal was to produce projects with strong female lead characters, as she felt this was lacking in Hollywood. Through the company, Witherspoon served as a producer for Gone Girl, 2014, an adaptation of Gillian Flynn's novel of the same name. 126 127 128 She also produced and starred in the biographical adventure Wild, 2014, based on Cheryl Strayed's memoir of the same name. 129 She portrayed Strayed on her 1,000-mile, 1,600 kilometers, hike along the Pacific Crest Trail. 130 Wild was released in December 2014 to critical acclaim. 131 Michael Phillips of Chicago Tribune wrote in his review, "Witherspoon does the least acting of her career, and it works. Calmly yet restlessly, she brings to life Strayed's longings, her states of grief and desire and her wary optimism." 132. Wild was considered as Witherspoon's comeback role following her previous career slump. 133 134 and she earned a second Academy Award nomination for her performance. 135. Witherspoon appeared in Phillippe Villardo's drama The Good Lie, based on a true story about an employment counselor assigned to help 4 young Sudanese refugees, known as Lost Boys of Sudan, who win a lottery for relocation to the U.S. 136 137 It was released on October 3, 2014. 138 The film was mostly well received. The Hollywood Reporter critic praised the touching story and performances of the cast, writing that Witherspoon does not upstage her colleagues. 139 Next, she appeared in Inherent Vice, 2014, an adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's novel of the same name. 141 in May 2014, Witherspoon began production in Louisiana on Hot Pursuit, a comedy in which she plays a police officer trying to protect a drug lord's widow, Sofia Vergara. 142 The feature was released on May 8, 2015. 143. 2016, present, television success. Witherspoon attending the premiere of Sing at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. In 2016, Witherspoon had a voice role in the animated musical comedy film Sing, and served as a performer to the film's soundtrack. Sing became Witherspoon's biggest commercial success, being the first of her films to make over $200 million domestically and $600 million worldwide. 144 That same year, Witherspoon began filming her first television project since 1993's return to Lonesome Dove, the 7-part miniseries adaptation of the Liana Moriarty bestseller, Big Little Lies. She co-produced the miniseries along with co-star Nicole Kidman and director Jean-Marc Vallée, her second project under his direction. The series premiered on February 19, 2017, on HBO and finished on April 2. 146 Witherspoon garnered critical acclaim for her performance, with TV Line proclaiming her as Performer of the Week in the weeks of February 26 to March 4 in 2017 and June 23 to 29 in 2019. 148 The Washington Post compared her performance to her roles in Election and Legally Blonde. 149 In December 2017, HBO renewed Big Little Lies for a second season, which premiered in June 2019. 150 Witherspoon also starred in the romantic comedy Home Again, the directorial debut of filmmaker Nancy Meyers' daughter, Hallie Meyers-Shire, which was released on September 8, 2017. 151. In 2018, she starred in Disney's A Wrinkle in Time, a film adaptation of Madeleine L'Engle's novel of the same name, in which she plays Mrs. Whatsit. Directed by Ava DuVernay, the feature co-stars Oprah Winfrey and Mindy Kaling, and was released in March 2018. 152 4 months later, Witherspoon began hosting the talk show Shine On with Reese on DirecTV, in which she interviews female guests, focusing on how they achieved their ambitions. The show marks Witherspoon's first unscripted role in television. 153. Witherspoon currently produces and stars in the Apple TV Plus drama series The Morning Show alongside Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell. 154 The Morning Show received a 2-season order from Apple with the first season premiering in November 2019. 155 Witherspoon was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Television Series Drama and a Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series for her work in the series. 156 Season 2 of The Morning Show was set to premiere in 2020 before a production shutdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. 157 The first 2 episodes were in the final stages of being shot before the production shutdown. During the shutdown, scripts were rewritten to reflect the pandemic. Production on Season 2 of The Morning Show restarted on October 19, 2020, and premiered on Apple TV in September 2021. 158 159 Witherspoon also serves as an executive producer for the Apple TV Plus series Truth Be Told starring Octavia Spencer, which premiered in December 2019. It was renewed for a second season in March 2020. 160 161 162. In 2020, Witherspoon produced and starred in the Hulu drama miniseries Little Fires Everywhere opposite Kerry Washington, the televised adaptation of Celeste Ng's 2017 novel of the same name. 163 164 In that same year, Witherspoon narrated the Quibi nature documentary series Fierce Queens, which focuses on female animals in the animal kingdom. 165. In 2023, Witherspoon executive produced, with Casey Musgraves, the country music competition show, My Kind of Country. 166 She starred opposite Ashton Kutcher in the romantic comedy Your Place or Mine, which released on Netflix. 167 In 2025, she starred in and produced the romantic comedy You're Cordially Invited for Amazon Prime Video. 168. Other ventures. Business and philanthropy. Witherspoon at the Oval Office in 2009. Witherspoon owned a production company called Type A Films, which the media believed was named after a nickname from her childhood, Little Miss Type A. 169 However, when asked about the company by Interview magazine, she clarified the name's origin. People think I named it after myself. It was actually an in-joke with my family because at age 7 I understood complicated medical terms, such as the difference between Type A and Type B personalities. But I just wished I'd named the company Dog Food Films or Fork or something. You carry that baggage all your life. 5. In March 2012, Witherspoon merged Type A Films with Bruna Papandreou's Make Movies banner to form a new production company called Pacific Standard. 170 In 2016, Witherspoon and Papandreou parted ways, and Witherspoon gained full control of the company. 171 Pacific Standard has since become a subsidiary of Hello Sunshine, a firm co-owned by Witherspoon and Honor Media, focused on telling female-oriented stories through film, television, and digital channels. 172 Witherspoon also runs the Hello Sunshine Book Club, where she makes book recommendations. 173. In May 2015, Witherspoon launched Draper James, a retail brand focusing on fashion and home decor inspired by the American South. It is named after her grandparents, Dorothea Draper and William James Witherspoon, who are said to be her greatest influences. Some of the products are being manufactured and designed in-house, and the brand was launched online before opening its first retail outlet in 2015 in her hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. 174 In March 2017, Witherspoon became the chief storyteller for Elizabeth Arden Incorporated, helping the company to shape the brand's narrative through advertising campaigns and marketing programs. Witherspoon stated that she was excited to work as a creative partner alongside the Elizabeth Arden team, producing content that celebrates the spirit of the brand, highlighting female-centric stories that illustrate women's true life experiences which unite us all. 175. Witherspoon is involved in children and women's rights advocacy. She is a longtime supporter of Save the Children, an organization that helps provide children around the world with education, healthcare, and emergency aid. 176 She also serves on the board of the Children's Defense Fund, CDF, a child advocacy and research group. 176 In 2006, she was among a group of actresses who went to New Orleans, Louisiana in a CDF project to publicize the needs of Hurricane Katrina victims. 177 During this trip, she helped open the city's first Freedom School, as she met and talked with the children. 178 Witherspoon later called this an experience that she would never forget. 178. In 2007, Witherspoon made her first move into endorsements, and she signed a multi-year agreement to serve as the first global ambassador for cosmetics firm Avon products. 176 179 She acts as a spokeswoman for Avon and serves as the honorary chair of the Avon Foundation, a charitable organization that supports women and focuses on breast cancer research and the prevention of domestic violence. 181 She is also committed to the development of cosmetic products and making appearances in commercials. 180 Explaining her motives for joining the foundation, she said, "As a woman and a mother, I care deeply about the well-being of other women and children throughout the world, and through the years, I have always looked for opportunities to make a difference." 180. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Witherspoon announced the Draper James Loves Teachers initiative, offering free dresses from the clothing collection to teachers. 182. Other work. In 2013, Witherspoon recorded a cover of the classic Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra duet, Something Stupid with Michael Bublé for his 2013 album, To Be Loved. 183. In September 2018, she published her first book, Whiskey in a Teacup, which is a lifestyle publication inspired by her Southern upbringing. 184. In 2018, she joined approximately 300 other actors, agents, writers, and entertainment employees in creating the Time's Up initiative, which seeks to counteract sexual harassment in the workplace. 185. In 2017, Witherspoon started Reese's Book Club. 186. The club was born out of her Instagram account, where she posted photos of books she read. Each month she picks books she loves with a woman at the center of the story, with variety of genres, from women's fiction to thrillers to romance. Since 2017, the club's most influential pick has been Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Chosen for the club in September 2018, it was adapted into a 2022 feature film by Witherspoon's production company Hello Sunshine, and was a box office hit that summer. 187. Public image. Witherspoon signing autographs for fans at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. Witherspoon hosted Saturday Night Live on September 29, 2001, the first episode to air after the September 11 attacks. 188. In 2005, she was ranked number 5 in Teen People magazine's list of most powerful young Hollywood actors. 189. In 2006, she was listed among the Time 100. 190. Her featured article was written by Luke Wilson. 191. That year, she was selected one of the 100 sexiest women in the world by the readers of FHM. 192. Witherspoon has been featured 4 times in the annual 100 Most Beautiful issues of People magazine. 193. She has appeared on the annual Celebrity 100 list by Forbes magazine in 2006 and 2007, at number 75 and number 80, respectively. 194. 195. Forbes also put her on the top 10 trustworthy celebrities list. 196. In 2007, she was selected by People and the entertainment news program Access Hollywood as one of the year's best-dressed female stars. 197. 198. The yellow dress she wore to that year's Golden Globe Awards was widely acclaimed. 199. A study conducted by ePoll Market Research showed that Witherspoon was the most likable female celebrity of 2007. 200. That same year, she established herself as the highest-paid actress in the American film industry, earning $15 to $20 million per film. 201. 202. The following years, her appearance in many commercially unsuccessful films caused her to lose the status, and she was noted as one of the most overpaid actors in Hollywood in 2011, 2012 and 2013. 203. 204. 205. In April 2011, she ranked number 3 on the 22nd annual People's Most Beautiful issue. 206. In June 2013, Witherspoon filed a lawsuit against Marketing Advantages International Incorporated, claiming they extensively used her name and image in jewelry advertising without permission in the US and internationally. In December 2015, Witherspoon's trademark claims to her name were rejected on the grounds that she had not established secondary meaning to her full name, did not claim emotional distress, and that the photos and facts were generally known by the public and the photos were taken in public with plaintiff's consent. However, the court ruled that she could proceed with her right of publicity claims against many defendants. 207. 208. 209. 2 months later, she withdrew her lawsuit, having come to private agreements with the various defendants, including Centerbrook Sales, Fragrance Hut, Gembara, and others. 210 In October 2017, in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein sexual abuse scandal, Witherspoon revealed that she had been sexually assaulted at age 16 by a director and had had multiple experiences of harassment and sexual assault throughout her career. 211. In 2015, Witherspoon made her second appearance on the Time 100 list, with her featured article written by Mindy Kaling. 212 That year, she was awarded, by the committee's unanimous vote, the American Cinematheque for being a perfect example of an actress flourishing in today's world and an active and successful movie producer who is moving her career forward both behind and in front of the camera. 213 214 215 In 2017, Forbes reported her career earnings were in excess of $198 million, making her the highest paid Primetime Emmy nominee in 2017. 216 In 2019, Forbes listed her among the world's 100 most powerful women. 217. Personal life, relationships and family. Witherspoon met actor Ryan Phillippe at her 21st birthday party in March 1997. 218 They became engaged in December 1998. 219 And married on June 5, 1999, at Old Wide Awake Plantation in Hollywood, South Carolina. 220 221 222 They have two children together, daughter Ava Elizabeth Phillippe, born on September 9, 1999. 223 224 And son Deacon Reese Phillippe, born on October 23, 2003. 220 On October 30, 2006, Witherspoon and Phillippe announced their separation. 225 She filed for divorce on November 8, 2006, citing irreconcilable differences. 226 Phillippe also reportedly had an affair with actress Abby Cornish. 227 They released a joint statement through People saying that they were saddened by the divorce but remained committed to their family. 228 In light of their lack of a prenuptial agreement, she requested that the court refuse to grant spousal support to Phillippe and asked for joint legal custody and sole physical custody.